Or offended, please exercise caution. Because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children. And not for coworkers either. And yes, that includes you, Cindy. And everyone hates the smell of your cocoa chai latte with mint leaves.
Jeez, fuck. God. You think you would... How many times do you have to tell?
You would think the mint would make it smell better.
Right. Or that it would help clear your sinuses. But instead, it causes your eyes to weep.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is rumble.com/JJW. I am your indentured servant forever, JJW. And this over here is NPC number 3. Deke, were you able to make it to the council meeting, the task force meeting, to review the proposals for, reparations for your state?
I
don't know if you've made it to the task force meeting, the public comments.
We had some yard work, and I had a hair appointment, so I didn't get to.
You don't want to let you can't let your yard work get out from under you, or you'll never catch up.
Not this time of year. Yes, you're exactly right. That's a dad thing right there. Let's just switch to dad modes right now. You got to get your yard work done this time.
Yeah,
get out of hand. It's really going to get out of hand.
It for real. Like last weekend, it rained. It was a little bit like Saturday morning. It was a little bit like misty and wet, and I was like, I'm gonna let it dry out. And then later in the day, instead of drying out, it rained, and then I had a wet weekend, and I got like grass growing like so much in the background.
I haven't mowed yet this year with the spring, and it's supposed to rain like the dickens tomorrow. So today is I have plans this afternoon to mow the yard. Well, let me rephrase that. My son has plans this afternoon when he gets out of school that he doesn't know about yet.
Yeah.
So yes,
it builds character. It builds character. Good morning. Over on rumble.com, we have our ever-present Brian. Brian's got a cool badge because he's a moderator over there. Dragoon Knight, welcome back to the show. And we see Manny also. Now, Manny is telling us that he has a John Wick review for us this weekend. And next week, he will have a review for Mario Brothers. So
we plan to go watch Mario Brothers 2.
That's the one with Chris Pratt, right?
Yes.
So you're either allowed to lovingly adore the movie, or you are obligated to, aren't you obligated to like...
No, that was what it was. It was people freaking out over something that they should have just shut the fuck up over.
But isn't he like a crazy religious zealot that just, believes God can forgive your sins and that nobody's perfect?
Who, Chris Pratt?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know about his religion. Is he really? That makes me respect him a little more. I love the man already, but it makes me like him even more. That's really cool. No, I didn't know.
So I had an idea for Manny, but Manny, I don't know if you'd be into it or not, but I thought it would be funny. Well, I should probably pitch it over there. Yeah, I know.
It's a JJ idea.
I love gags. But Manny, if you want to record your review of the thing and just keep it like really, really, really short, and then we could play it on video. But I should. Come hit me up on the Discord server, and I'll
I'll pitch my gags. Should just call each other.
We should probably just call
be a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey man, how was your day yesterday? Everything go good? I had to fix. I was leaving work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to. Gas was starting to go up, so I was like, I'm going to run by this one particular gas station where it's always lower and fill up my tank.
Yeah.
Because I was running on E, and I could see that gas was it had jumped 20 cents overnight since I had been to work. 20 freaking cents. Isn't that ridiculous? Good. Ridiculous. 20 cents a gallon. So I was freaking out, and Ashley calls me and is like, yesterday was my oldest daughter's first day of work at a real job. She got a real job. She first day at a pizza restaurant.
Is it?
17. She's fixing to be 18.
Okay. All right.
So she's old enough.
Oh, she's going to be able to pay taxes and everything. It's going to be great.
Yeah, she gets to learn about the world. She didn't know anything about the world. Yeah. So,
what do you mean taking a third of my money. Yeah,
I've already told her
maybe
all
fourth,
this. You need to
maybe
do the calculations in your head and expect less,
maybe half.
So it was our first day of work and she didn't want to be late. And Ashley calls me and is like, she just picked her up from school and is like, I have a flat tire. So I spent the rest of yesterday afternoon from about 3 o'clock to about 7:30 going from place to place to place to place to get a tire, to remove the tire and put this on to fill it. So I did tires yesterday. How are you?
So that's the Japan in the ass. So do you have like a tire in your area? But I would have just taken it off and roll it up to Discount Tire and be like, fix this thing.
No, there's several junkyards around that I know of that are close that they keep tires and they're pretty good tires. And so we'll just go to the junkyard and the tire that I got yesterday is almost a brand freaking new tire. Brand new. It was muddy because it come off of a wreck and it was a part of the car that wasn't damaged. So it come off of a wreck. It was muddy. It just needs cleaning. That's brand spanking new tire. The treads look great. $20. I paid $20 for it.
Listen,
and the dude
I know that there's people out there that are like getting tires from a junkyard, but then they heard the 20
getting tires from a junkyard. I paid $20 for almost a brand new tire, except it's just got a little mud on it. And the guy that put it on is an old high school friend of my brother's, and I tried to give him a $20 bill, and he wouldn't take it. He said, "Your brother's done enough work for me, man. You don't owe me nothing." So it ended up doing pretty good, but that's small town for you, dude. That's small town taking care of each other.
Okay. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Right,
he's got to do that. So Deacon and I were hanging out off and on our Discord server. Links in the description below. And we are working on a couple of projects together and working on that stuff for you guys. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. I really want to tease it, but I'm not going to tease it yet. I am going to say that over there appears to be some internal corporate memos that have been leaked. So just please do not share those on the internet. FUNSLINGERS does not intend for those memos to be distributed on the internet, and we do not want to publicly embarrass any of our coworkers. So if you could just keep that under wraps, that'd be good. Okay.
All right. Before you get into a story,
I was just yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just letting you know. I was notifying the audience that some of our internal company memos have been leaked. But please don't post them on the internet.
Don't post them on the internet. All right.
We're not trying to embarrass anybody. We're just trying to make sure our internal company is not conflicted. And some people just keep your drink cups on your own desk. There's no reason. My desk is not a trash can. You don't have to put them on my trash can. And I'm not speaking to any particular person, but if I was speaking to one particular person, dude, I really hope that she's listening right now.
Dude, I worked with this guy. I'll say his name, Greg. He was a prick. He's still on the radio in the town over. He's still on the radio. He's a prick. He was one of those cocks that had to put his 2 cents in your conversation, no matter what the fuck you were talking about, and whether he was walking by or not. He's going to give you his 2 cents and what he thought about the conversation. And one time, Buddy was going up. There was a bunch of radio stations all down this hall. We each had a studio, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 9 of us all down this hall in this big radio company. And one of the guys was going to run up to the store, and he was going around to the studios. I was working on the classic rock station. He was going around the studios, and he's like, "Hey, I'm running up to the little convenience store, little girl. Do you want anything? I'm running up to the gas station." It's like, "Yeah, get this." And my co-host that morning on the classic rock station is a guy named Mark Andrews. It was Andy and Andrews in the morning was the name for, because I'm Andy. He was Mark Andrews. It's Andy and Andrews in the morning. And he wanted a couple of the little 25-cent beef jerkies. You know what I mean? Hey, give me a couple of those 25% beef jerky. Gave me $2. So dude comes back, and we're standing in the hallway, and we kind of in between songs and stuff. Some of the other DJs will come out, and we'll kind of talk to each other, and we kind of help each other out and be guests and voices on their other shows and characters and stuff like that. So so we were kind of talking in the hallway there, and the dude was eating his beef jerky, his little 25-cent beef jerky, like this big, they're little bitty. And so he
Right. A
Yeah,
snack.
snack. So he just the other side of the hallway is the offices. So he just kind of took a couple of steps in Greg's office there and threw away his little snack in his trash can. His trash can was sitting there, so he just kind of put it in his trash can.
Yeah.
So he comes back in the room a little bit later and is like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened to me. Greg just come in the room with my beef jerky wrapper and laid it on the desk and said, 'Throw your garbage away in your own garbage can.'"
Darren, it's a trash can. What the hell? I like to keep my trash can clean.
That's a straight up true story, dude. That's
my gosh.
All right. Radio. All right. Speaking of radio, I've been in radio a long time. Here's your song of the day. Look this one up, dude.
Oh, right.
Ramblin' Man this is a new guy named Charlie Crockett.
Oh, I think I know. Wait,
he's kind of a new guy.
Is it a cover?
This is a cover.
It's not.
This is an old Hank Sr. song. You've heard Ramblin' Man a million times.
Oh, yeah.
This is not the Allman Brothers. Oh, I was born a Ramblin' Man. That's not it. It's the Ramblin' Man Hank Sr.
I'm gonna listen.
So it's great. That album, Little GL's Honky Tonk Jubilee, is a great album. This is a new artist, Charlie Crockett. He is great. He's got this lazy kind of drawl singing when he sings. He sounds old. He sounds like he looks old. He's a tall, skinny drink of water with a one of them nice looking old country suits on, man, and a big old 10-gallon hat. He looks really cool.
This looks like a 1950s Roy Rogers type of.
If you see it,
yeah. Here is it?
I'm digging him. I play like 5 or 6 of his songs. Yeah, look at him.
Here, you know what? I think we can get away with it.
I don't want to try it. I don't want to just hit the button. Just
2 seconds. Just 2 seconds of it. Here you go. Oh, get a little. Oh, that's enough.
His voice is awesome, though. He's got a very unique voice, and I really dig this guy. I want to go see him.
I want to
go see him bad. I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of him in the future. I hope he becomes super famous because I really dig this new guy, man. Charlie Crockett.
You heard it here first. Probably. I did.
Look right there. Night Train to Memphis. That's a cover song. That's a Carl Smith cover song. I Saw the Lights, a Hank Sr. song. Honky Tonk Blues is a cover song. These are all cover songs. Ramblin' Man.
I Cast a Lonesome Shadow.
Yeah, I Cast a Lonesome Shadow is a cover song. Honky Tonk is a cover song.
All right.
So this is one of his cover, but he's got several albums and some are not cover songs. So check it out.
I'm gonna, honestly, I'm gonna listen to this. I need to not close.
It really is good. I'm trying to expand the genre. So one day we might have country. Tomorrow I might have ska. I think we'll do a ska. I'll just pick one of my favorite ska songs tomorrow. So I'm trying to expand your horizons.
I just put the link in the live feed on. This is a terrible idea. I'm not redirecting. Why am I redirecting people away from our show to listen to country music? All right.
Go listen to country. You don't want to listen to us.
Yeah. All right. So today's show. Today is March 30th, 2023. And today's
only
show.
15 minutes to get to the title.
Yeah, right. California plans to pay for reparations with indentured servitude. It's kind of an okay title. So California's Reparations Task Force is holding some meetings yesterday and today, and there's I think there was like a 2-hour window for public comments. 2 whole
hours? Wow.
Yeah. So the current estimate now, previously it was reported that the California reparations plan might cost like $300 billion. That's a little bit low. That's a little bit low from what they expect. The current estimate is that Black residents for whom the economists are estimating that may be owed more than $800 billion for decades of over-policing. So the $800 billion price tag is a little bit more than 2.5 times what it was originally proposed, or it's more than what the entire California the entire California annual budget is $300 billion. So it's like 2.5 times. It's 2.5 years entirely of California's budget could be paid to Black residents over the decades, really. I believe that previously we had said that part of the plan was like every black resident in California or a black identifying resident in California could receive up to $5 million. Just depends on the variations of the plan. See, the task force hasn't exactly ironed out exactly what the plan should be yet. And then once they have a plan, it'll get kind of like put forward. The funny thing is that they could put forward a plan, and then when California goes, I'm going to cough. When California goes, they might put it on a ballot, and the citizens will vote for it as a referendum, and the citizens could literally vote themselves into indentured servitude, where they would have to pay over $600,000 each in taxes to cover this thing. Okay.
Well, I mean, if they're not paying attention,
hey, if that's what you want to do,
I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, look, California, I'm all for it. Do it, California. You show us how.
Show us Kentucky and Texas people how it's done.
Show us how it's done. Lead the way. Lead the way.
We'll watch you from a distance.
Right behind you.
Yeah.
We are right there, ish.
Kind of a little bit.
Yeah. All forms of discrimination should be considered in reparations, said Thomas Kramer, a public policy professor in the University of Connecticut. And he told the panel on Wednesday, the task force,
I was discriminated against as a kid.
Were you?
Yeah.
I was too.
I played D&D. I got made fun of.
Yeah.
Does that count?
I was a enormous nerd. I got shoved over. I got pushed down. I got my books knocked out of my hands.
I really didn't get like pushed down.
I was involved in altercations.
No, I wasn't involved in any altercations, but there were several like mouthy words and stuff. I ended up hanging out with other nerds, and one of my nerd friends, who's actually my dungeon master still today, and has been one of my really close friends for about 30 years now. He was 6'7" in the 7th grade. He's 6'8" still today, and a football coach. So he weighs about 300 pounds. So I really didn't get made fun of that much. And then when it came out that Vin Diesel played Dungeons and Dragons, all of us nerds really kind of latched onto that one hardcore. That one was a winner for us. So yeah, so how do we define does everybody get if you've been discriminated against? Because
we are going to have to wait. It's not impossible if you haven't. Now you probably have to reside in California. Right. There's a list of criteria that are kind of being floated around. You don't have to be black per se. You do need to identify as black, and you need to. There's like a list of 8 different criteria, and if you match like 2 of the 8. You could be in the pool.
I'm the whitest white honky cracker this side of the Mississippi, dude.
I don't know. You don't really know. You really
can I
don't
say
know
honky cracker? I am a honky cracker, so I guess I can say that about me. It's not
judges.
It's not disparaging against white people because fuck white people. All right, we've got 1,000 stories this morning, man.
Yeah,
let's go.
All right. So are you not super interested in California's being okay? Fine, fuck them.
I don't want to talk about them. I was surprised you put it as a title. I was thinking it was going to be another title.
Hey, do you like jokes, Deacon?
No, not at all. I think they're dumb.
You don't like jokes? Okay. Have you heard the one? No, have you heard the one about the old man who was at a press conference, and when he was asked about a school shooting and whether or not Christians were murdered by a radical transgender person, whether or not that was because they were Christians.
It's a long setup.
He then asked what Josh Hawley thought about it, and if Josh Hawley thought so, then he didn't think it was.
I've never heard this joke.
Crazy.
Are you going to tell it?
Ha 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 ha. Hold on. Ha ha ha.
Okay, you're going to have to explain all that again because that setup was a little.
Yeah.
You lost me halfway.
Well, see, that's actually exactly what happened when Joe Biden was asked whether or not he thought.
So explain it again because you lost me halfway through. I was still
A reporter asked Joe Biden if the attacks on Christian were because they were Christian, but the transgender shooter in Nashville, whether or not
stop.
Yeah.
Pause and start all over again with that sentence. I know, but I'm not understanding any of it.
All right, here it comes.
I don't know if it's me or if it's how it's.
Well, let me talk. A reporter asked Joe Biden if the Nashville shooter targeted Christians because they were Christians. Joe Biden said, well, does Josh Hawley think so? Because if Josh Hawley thinks so, then I guess I don't. Ha, ha, ha.
Who's Josh Hawley?
He's a Republican. So Joe Biden tried to turn that question into a joke. Josh Hawley is a senator from Missouri.
What does Josh Hawley have to do with anything to do with the shooting in Nashville if he's a senator from Tennessee? Why did he just pull this random guy's name out of the air? What is the deal with that?
I don't know. Dementia, senile, insane.
See, this is such a confusing. I was so confused because I don't understand what's going on. I thought I missed something. But I haven't missed anything.
You didn't miss anything. A reporter asked him,
some name out of the fucking air.
Did this Nashville shooter shoot them because they are Christians? He said, I have no idea. Then when told by the reporter that Josh Hawley believed, okay, so that's what it was. The reporter said, Josh Hawley believed that they attacked Christian believers because they're Christians. Biden's response was, well, I probably don't then. No, I'm joking. No, I have no idea.
Do we expect anything less from this fucking pedophile, nasty old goddamn man? I mean, what do you want from Joe Biden, people? What do y'all want for this funky fucking guy to do? There is not one. Joe Biden could rescue infant, orphans, and nuns from a burning building, single-handedly rescue 1,000 of them all. And it wouldn't change my mind on that son of a bitch one iota. No. Not one molecule of my body would change direction on how I feel about that pedophile.
Let me just say, he cares so little about this. Like, he'll try to make a little, like, he'll smile and nod or whatever. He cares so little about this that he took the opportunity for it to be a joke. And, you could say, oh, JJ, you're making a joke of it. I'm not making a joke of the shooting. I'm trying to point out that, like, this dude is an asshole and he's your president. So, I don't think the shooting's funny at all. So.
No, I had to correct some shit on the shooting this morning that came up. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you two articles. Okay. Yeah. Both articles, and I'm just going to read just a little bit here from the articles, and I want you, JJ, to tell me which one is from the Associated Press and which one isn't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here is the first article. And what I'm going to read is just his first line. Republican lawmakers in Kentucky on Wednesday swept aside the Democratic governor's veto of a bill regulating some of the most personal aspects of life for transgender young people, from banning access to gender-affirming health care to restricting the bathrooms they can use. Now, let me go to this other article.
And the question is, which one's from the Associated Press?
The Kentucky legislature on Wednesday overrode a veto from Democratic Governor Andy Beshear, pushing through a bill restricting access to gender-related treatments and limiting the use of bathrooms in schools. The bill comes in the aftermath of blah, 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 at a Christian school, blah, blah, blah. Now, let me point out some key things that I need you to look at before making your decision, okay? In this article number 2, it is very non-biased. It is.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of facts. It's not really flavored.
The
really
bill
with
is
any.
it comes from a Christian school. The Senate voted in this in a margin. They have here's the only biased part you could say, but this is just journalism.
It's
this
a
was
quote.
a Republican quote yesterday. If they wanted to be non-biased, they could put another opposing quote, but you really don't need it. And it explains what the bill did. The bill bars, blah, blah, blah. Numerous Republican-leaning states have been doing this since the shootings in Nashville. And here's this story. Republican lawmakers in Kentucky on Wednesday swept aside the Democratic governor's veto of a bill regulating some of the most personal aspects of life for transgender young people, from banning access to gender-affirming health care to restricting the bathrooms that they can use. The votes override, blah, 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 as emotions surged. Read this. Look at this. Some people protesting the bill from the House gallery were removed and arrested after their prolonged chanting rang out in the chamber. The protesters, their hands bound, chanted, "There's more of us not here." As they waited to be taken away from the Capitol. 19 people were arrested and charged. The officers gave each person the option to leave without any enforcement action or be placed under arrest. Which one do you think the Associated Press, the non-biased Associated Press?
Well, my understanding, and, I'm not a journalist, but my understanding is that the Associated Press is like the all the derives from.
Say that again. You kind of skipped out on me a little bit.
The Associated Press is supposed to be like the straight news, the straight reporting that all the other news.
The Associated Press sends their stories to every other news source.
Right. Yeah. So they're like
I got this from this morning was my local news source. And if you look, it says by Associated. So they just copy and paste paste for their content, and for Associated Press content. They don't rewrite it sometimes at all.
They don't rewrite it at all?
No. If they rewrite it and then they put their name on it.
All right. I'm going to bite. I'm going to have to say the Associated Press was the one without the personal, flavorings, right? The personal.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
The Associated Press article was the first article that said some of the most personal aspects of life for the transgender young people. That was sent to me today in my news. And here's my correspondence. I sent an email back and I said, Jesus Christ, where did you get that trans story? Let me fix it, please. And then I said, of course, it's an AP story, completely biased. Here, use this one, please.
Associated propaganda is what it is.
Exactly.
It's propaganda.
And then
that's not news. When the news is trying to change your opinion as they're telling you the news, that's propaganda.
Not news. It's propaganda. Yes. And maybe we're propaganda. I don't care. We never said that we were news. We said we read the news.
No. We're not. We're not propaganda, and we are real news. Everything that we say, you should totally believe us. We are right on all the facts. Yeah.
All right, so I got another story that we'll get through here real quick because I think that we may have some more information. This information may come out on this today. But you people watching may get this information here first this morning.
Kentucky stories.
Yeah, there's 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed.
No jokes.
Yeah, we're not joking about this. 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed last night in Fort Campbell, near Fort Campbell, Kentucky. It is very, very close to me. Trigg County is the county next door, or one county over. And the 2 Black Hawk helicopters crashed. There's 3 separate crash sites. They're saying that like this New York Post, 2 Army Black Hawk helicopters causing several casualties, blah blah blah, around 10 p.m. blah blah blah. Let me read you my story. Okay. The crash occurred last night about 9:35 p.m. There were reportedly 3 separate crash scenes located off Bobby Light Road and Lancaster Road near US 68. East Golden Pond firefighters responded to put out the fires. Unconfirmed reports that there could be as many as 9 people killed in the incident. They said officials from Fort Campbell got to the scenes about an hour after the crash to begin their investigation. Trigg County coroner, along with Army soldiers on the scene, confirmed multiple fatalities. The Army statement did not give information about the status of the crews, but said, see, the Army statement is what all these other people are getting off of. I'm getting from local people actually talking.
Okay. All right.
The Army statement said that it would release more as it became available. That was focusing on caring for its service members and their families. Trigg County jailer reportedly lives nearby and heard what sounded like a collision. Others who live in the area indicated that the helicopters have been flying over the area for the last several nights. Where the area that I live, the town that I live, is like a straight path from the helicopters. And something that they do for Fort Campbell. I have all kinds of helicopters. It's normally Black Hawks that fly over the house all the time.
Yeah.
Multiple agencies, including Kentucky State Police, have responded to assist. So they're saying as many as 9 dead and 3 separate crash sites. But they've gotten everything, out there taking care of this stuff. Fort Campbell is you've been on an Army base. You know what an Army base is like for people.
Oh yeah, and not only that, I've been. I used to refill Black Hawk helicopters, and I was on post once when an Army helicopter went down in the mountains, and the base was basically responding to a lost helicopter and a downed helicopter. I've seen Apache helicopters that got tangled up in power lines and wrecked or whatever. It's not. And I imagine what's happened is that these 2 Black Ops were doing a training thing. And they were too close.
Yeah, they were doing some night.
They might have been doing night flights with which you may have little or no lighting running on that. Like very little.
It's terrible. I don't like any of that kind of loss of life, especially for our servicemen and women.
And unlike some aircraft where there's a crash and you have a chance to bail out.
Yeah,
you might have a chance to bail out. You're not bailing out of a helicopter as it's going down.
If it's flipping or you're not jumping.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not happening. So
yeah. Well, God be with those people and their families.
For sure.
I saved this story.
I'm going to be thinking about them. I'm going to be thinking about them for the rest of the day. 101st Airborne.
The 101st Airborne are some badasses, man. They've got a really cool. If people don't know about the 101st, man, the 101st are in World War II. They were like the fucking super soldiers, dude. They did every fucking thing. Those people were badasses. They've got a museum down there, and I've never been in the museum, but I've heard many people that have been there that said that one of Hitler's canes is in the museum down there that they had. That was one of the cane. That was one of the things that they brought back from over there, the 101st, because they were busting ass over there.
I've known a number of Airborne Rangers before. I've served with a bunch of them, and I know one. I was out drinking with one time, and he used to be an Airborne Ranger. He got transferred to another unit because he was injured. He had been Airborne Rangers usually are a lot younger soldiers, right? Like there's Airborne Rangers are like your 20-year-olds to 25, 28, whatever. And, they all train on parachuting. They all train on jumping and stuff like that. And then you may have I don't know, Delta Force or Special Operations or whatever. And those might be older, more seasoned. But the Airborne Rangers are the ones that are jumping out of airplanes and AC-130s and stuff like that. And this one guy I was out drinking with one time and talking to, he had jumped. He had been rigged to jump out of an airplane. And the way that they do it, from my understanding, is that they all stack up, they hook up their line, and then they go out the door, and the hookup line pulls their chute line when they exit. He got tangled, and he was bouncing on the airplane, and it ended up messing up his back or something like that. But he said it was it's obviously the most frightening thing that he had ever lived through, being connected to an airplane, but not, and it messed up his back. So I think he ended up getting transferred out of the Airborne Rangers and was working wherever I was. So That's my Airborne Ranger story. So yeah, Blackhawks. I'm actually very familiar with Blackhawks. I used to fuel them up. When I was in the Army, I was a gas man, and I ran a
It's funny, you're gas man
aviation.
now in a completely different way.
Yeah, gaslight
Completely
man.
different gas man.
Yeah, I mean, gas
Weird.
is a big part of my life.
That's right.
So many different aspects.
So many different.
Yeah. So yeah, I filled up a bunch of Blackhawk helicopters. Touched a bunch of them. All right. Okay. What do you got? What do you want to learn about now? We got so many things. You know what? Let's cover this story here. Let's talk about Virginia Beach. This is from. Well, I'm not gonna put your name out there because I don't want anybody to know where he is, whatever. But it's one of our regular viewers, one of our regular participants. He sent in this story, so I looked it up. A Virginia Beach student in one of their schools was arrested after a gun was found in the backpack. This is like one day after the Nashville shooting. Dude. And you know what? So I guess there was some sort of like report on social media, and then this school administration took it serious, and they inspected this kids, and they pulled they had two ideas of who it was, and there was two kids, and they kind of like pulled them and inspected them, and they found the gun.
As a person that reads local news stories and has to gather local news stories for a 10-minute local news broadcast 5 days a week, I come across a lot of these stories just locally in the past 5 years. There's probably been 10 guns or bomb threats at schools around here. We didn't have that shit when we were kids.
No.
But I bet you locally there's been 10, and I live in the county. My old high school is one that was shot up before the one in Florida.
Right.
We lost 2 kids. My first cousin's son was one of the kids that got killed at our high school. And we didn't get national attention because all of the news sources were coming around here asking for our kids to comment, and our parents wouldn't let them comment because the news sources were trying to drive a narrative about gun control, and we live in backwoods hunting country.
Right.
And they couldn't get anybody. I had a buddy who CNN, he's got the emails that CNN was sending him to interview his daughter.
Trying to get quotes.
Trying to get her to say a specific things, and he didn't want her to say, my daughter's not gonna say these, and they were offering to pay him,
What?
He's got them. He's got them. He showed me. So so they went down to Florida. That's when the one from Florida happened, the big one in Florida. It happened just like a week or 2 weeks after ours. And so they just completely left us and didn't. And the kid that shot up our school we ended up finding out he did it as a social experiment. He wasn't bullied, he wasn't picked on or anything. He just wanted to see what would happen, how everybody would react, what would happen to his family, what would happen to him in the future. He was just doing it. Everybody said that he was a very brilliant kid, very smart kid, never got in trouble or anything. Nobody ever picked on him. Nobody. He just wanted to do a social experiment. He was fucking crazy because there are evil people in this world.
Yeah,
and
there are evil
as children. There are evil children out there. Period. And he was one of them. He killed 2 people. Just walked in and he walked in the band room and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Talked to his buddies, and then walked in the fucking commons area and just started blowing people away.
Dads, be involved in your children's lives.
Involved in your children's lives, dads. And yeah, the parents, they were like, the mom was strict gun control.
Oh, I never knew. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How often have you talked to your son? I just made the comment to my son last night. He walked in and he sat down in the living room, and I went, "Well, who the hell are you?" And he kind of looked at me. I was like, "I haven't seen you since Sunday." And he was like, "Huh?" I was like, "I have not seen you since Sunday. Monday you had gym. Tuesday you had band practice. Last night, you just got back from church. I don't know who you are. I don't see you." So parents, be involved in your children's lives. They're busy.
Yeah.
My son wants to go to his room, talks to his girlfriend. You know what I do? I walk in there and talk to his girlfriend for a little bit with him because I want to see my son and I want to let him know that I care about him. That he's just not a burden, and I want to do
honestly,
my other stuff.
The number one thing that can reduce all of these problems that we're having in our world is if dads would show up and be there. Stop playing on your console game or whatever. Stop dicking around and just talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Be invested. Okay. I'm telling you, if you're not, somebody else will. And there is, oh, there's evil in the world. Sounds so cliche. I don't want to really think that. No, there's fucking evil in the world. It's out there, and it's literally trying to eat your kids. All right, and it once it gets a hold of them, it gets them to do some dumb shit. Anyway, let's go. Let's move.
You're right. So that was at the that's the story about the Bayside one, or is that a different one? Oh no, that's
the Bayside shooter.
Yikes, man. Well, I'm glad that our viewer's family was safe, and I believe our viewer is pretty vigilant.
Yeah, he's all over that stuff. This intelligent potential shooter, 18 years old. So this is not. So as soon as he told me about it, I was like, well, how old is this kid? Because is it a kid that took a gun and stuck it in his backpack because it's like show and tell, I'm going to show all my friends at school how cool this is? Or is it somebody that's like 16, 17, 18 that's like, I'm going to take this gun and go kill some people at the school because I'm mad. I got raging hormones and no self-control, and I'm mad.
Let me tell you something else that JJ and I will have said on this show many, many times, and we will stand behind because we both feel the exact same way on this. You need to educate your children on gun safety. Don't keep the guns away from your children. Don't keep them away from your children, because when you tell the child not to touch them, don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that, what are they going to do? They're going to touch it.
It becomes a totem of power and fear.
So show them what the gun is, explain to them what the gun is, train them, you can do this safely, put them through a training, gun safety courses and hunter safety courses and stuff like that. And train them to use the guns properly, because that's the only way. If we improve our gun education, it will stop a lot of these needless
people will be responsible.
It won't stop all of them, but it will stop some of these senseless shootings that happen with kids just farting around with a gun.
Take your kids to the range. Take your kids to the range.
Shoot. Some
Spend
people
an hour
with
your kids.
It. Right.
Spend time with your kids. Take them to the range. Worst thing that happens is that your kid doesn't want to shoot the gun, but they're not afraid of it because it's not a mystical totem of power and fear anymore. It's just a machine.
Show them that it's just a machine, but you respect the gun. I was always taught to respect the gun.
Make them clean that thing too.
Yeah,
make that thing apart.
Yeah,
make them clean it.
I was always taught. Dad always said the exact same thing to me and my brother. My brother would say this exact same word for word. You do not point a gun at anything you do not intend to destroy.
Your kids should know all the basic safety rules,
right,
by heart.
Yeah. Okay. Dad would have beat me with that gun if I would have used the scope as just like a binoculars. If I just pointed that gun and was just using the scope but he would have beat me with the gun.
Right. All right. Here's a story. Here's another Kentucky story. I mean, oh no, that's Houston. Hold on. I had a Kentucky one here.
We had a couple of Kentucky stories in there. I saw our stupid governor's face. Andy Bashir kind of talks like this.
I guess we're going to do this Houston story because that's what I have loaded up. A Houston woman says squatters took over her home with a fake lease.
I don't understand how I don't understand how people aren't able to get a gun, go in there, cock that fucking thing and say, get the fuck out of my house, and start beating asses if they don't get off your property. That's your property. I don't understand.
I don't know. A Houston woman claimed her rental home was taken over by a group of squatters who changed the locks and drew up a fake lease. They locked me out of my own property. That's crazy. I had the keys with me. I walked in and discovered a family of 5 living there. She says she had a lease contract. She says she has a lease contract and actually emailed me the lease contract. The homeowner went to check on her other property listed at $3,600 a month. after receiving a letter from a neighborhood homeowners association asking her to clear away leaves piled up on the driveway. Trespassers tried to tell Zhang they were rightfully living inside the home with a contract as proof. The document lists another stranger, not Zhang or her husband, as the landlord, and the squatters as renters.
I don't know, man. I don't know who. I don't. $3,600 a month. I'm kind of going with the damn squatters on this one. Fuck that shit, man. That's over. I'm not going to tell you how much more that is than my house payment every.
I will. That's like more than twice my mortgage.
That is more than 4 times my mortgage, and I live in a 2,200 square foot home with a fucking acre of land.
Yeah. Linda Zhang said the trespassers changed her life. This is Linda Zhang, right? And then this person here is the woman living in the house and says she paid rent to a realtor for the home. You don't pay rent to a realtor.
That's you do not to companies. You do.
Oh, yeah? To a realtor? Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Oh, yeah. Yeah, squatters moved in. Okay. So this is hilarious. All right. That's Houston. All right. Let's see. What else we got here? I can't read that one. Paywall. Oh, guys. I know you've been. I am so sorry. I have been delinquent on updating you on the arrest of Donald Trump. We have been richly anticipating the arrest of Donald Trump for, it was supposed to be last Tuesday. It's now Tuesday last week. It's now been 9 days since the anticipated indictment and arrest of Donald Trump. I'm sure it will not be very much longer, but there was a break in this yesterday. Let me pull that story up here. And
what are we talking about?
Well, it seems that we're going to get him. We're definitely going to get Donald Trump.
Have we checked our arrest? Has he been arrested yet? Have we?
He has not. He's not been arrested yet. All right. It's been 9 days since he was supposed to be arrested. Okay. And there was a little setback. The DA needed to like pause for the weekend, and I guess he's pausing for this week also. And the Manhattan grand jury that is to indict him so that we can finally get this guy.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
On this hush money case.
Yeah, we're gonna get you. We just need a little bit of time.
They're gonna take a 1 month break.
We need. So
we're gonna wait.
But we're going to get your ass.
One more month, but we're going to get him.
We're going to get you. You just wait. We get 30, it'll be a little bit.
30 more days, and then
maybe.
We are.
But in 30 days, in April, your ass is ours.
Going to get you.
Maybe May.
April showers bring May flowers.
That's right. Maybe it might be September, but we'll
we're going to rain evidence all over you, Trump.
You bastard.
Alvin, just remember, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is a piece of shit. All right. So Deke, did you already cover the ESG thing? The
transgender thing from Kentucky?
Yeah. So you covered that.
We covered that one, and I didn't mean to. It was kind of inadvertently. I saw you had that story up, but you had that other Kentucky story up too. The public pensions one, but I didn't know anything about this one.
Yeah, so apparently the
you'll have to educate me on this Kentucky one.
Right. Okay. All right. So, Deke, you got public servants, right?
Yeah.
And
we're supposed to.
Well,
I mean, we're supposed to have public servants. I mean, they might actually work for corporations and other people, but I mean, they're supposed to be public, JJ.
Okay. Well, what you definitely have is people who worked for the government that at one point in the future will draw pensions, right?
Oh, yeah. They're going to get money. Yeah. That's a given.
So,
whether they're public servants or not, they're going to get public pensions.
Now, what happens is the state sets aside like some money. Yeah, and then they invest that money into a fund to pay for these pensions, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now,
which is a very common technique. If people don't know that, it's a very common technique with
You take $100, you invest it, you get 120. Right? You get some average returns, just scale it up.
One of these old guys that comes in here and talks to me is an old teacher of mine. And he was telling me that the superintendent that everybody reveres and whatnot used to gamble with the teachers' retirements. And he would take all the teachers, because back then he was in charge of it. So he would take the money, and in the weekends he would like invest it in the stock market or some shit. And he was like, that blah, blah, blah building and that blah, blah, blah building on campus. And I said, yeah. And he said, it was built with that money.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this is a very common thing.
Okay. So pensions are paid for by investment funds, and the state has some rules about the way that you can invest the money so that you can have positive returns.
Yeah. Now there's rules. Yeah.
For some insane reason, Kentucky has now banned ESG as being one of the criteria for determining how to invest those public pensions.
JJ, so what does ESG mean? Isn't that what they put in Chinese food?
No, that's MSG. That's slightly different.
Oh, my bad.
Slightly different. ESG is environmental social governance. Okay, so those ESG scores that allows you to take into account for companies you're going to invest in, allows you to take into account things like the number of Black people that they employ, or the number of gay people they employ, or how much they reduce their carbon footprint, or how important climate change is, or how many paper straws they have in the cafeteria, or
the paper straws have to be in plastic wrappers, individually wrapped, though.
So the Kentucky governor, Andy Bashir, that's a different Andy than you.
He's a completely different Andy than me. Yeah.
This POS signed a law signed into law a measure that prohibits asset managers from handling state retirement systems while considering environmental, social, and governance factors. Instead, they're only going to have to consider things like returns on investment, which is irresponsible.
Let me tell you this, and this might answer some questions that you may have about Andy Bashir. All right, this piece of shit. His dad was the governor too, just 2 governors ago, and the guy in between them was a Republican that they both fucking hate with a passion. So, but the Republican governor that we had was a piece of fucking just a piece of shit.
Oh, is this guy a Democrat?
Yeah, Andy Bashir's a Democrat.
Oh my God, he's a Democrat turncoat that voted against ESG.
He just vetoed that transgender bill that I was talking about earlier. But the House and everything overruled his veto.
Oh.
So he actually was going to say, it's okay, Kentucky teens, all you boys, if you want to go into the girls' bathrooms, you can go ahead, just as long as you say, I'm a girl. That's okay, because I'm a girl. So if that's the only thing I need to do to go into a girl's bathroom is just to look around and go, it's okay, ladies. I think I'm a girl. That makes my daughter feel comfortable.
The good boys of Kentucky would never do that.
Yeah, but that's what our governor was like, vetoing and saying, yes, that should be okay. No. That my daughter should feel comfortable that any grown man should come in the bathroom with her and say it's okay.
I can't believe that the democratically elected legislature of Kentucky would have the gall to overturn an edict by a decent and good man like this.
You know the part in Pulp Fiction where John Travolta's character, Vincent Vega, is talking about his car that he had in storage, and he got the car out. He's telling the story about he just got out, and when he got his car out of storage, he wasn't out for just a couple of days, and somebody keyed the car. And how he said, it would be worth them keying the car for me to catch them keying the car. You know what he was trying to make there.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking I want a man to try to go into a bathroom that my daughter is in. I want to be there when that guy tries to go into the bathroom that one of my daughters is in. You know,
right?
That's one of those situations where I don't know if I could have the switch.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to hold the switch sometimes, JJ.
It would not be just a Comic-Con talking to.
That's right. It wouldn't be a Comic-Con talking to. So yeah, Andy Bashir, his father was Steve Bashir, and they didn't give two craps about anything but getting gambling passed in Kentucky. Steve Bashir tried to get gambling passed in Kentucky, and now Andy has taken up his father's helm, and it's fixing to get passed in Kentucky.
All right.
Right. Currently, we have to go onto the rivers and to gamble across state. So if I want to go to a casino, I have to go right across the river to Illinois, where they have a multi-million-dollar Harrah's casino over there.
Don't gamble. Don't gamble.
I used to when I was little. I'd play the crap tables. I play craps, and I always liked the dice, but blackjack and all that crap. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler at all.
I'm not either.
I'm not at all.
Not really. Let's see.
Cindy always came up to me and said, "Do you want to play the Final Fours?" And I would say, if I wanted to take a $5 bill and throw it away, I can do it in the trash can right there beside me.
Okay. Don't gamble, kids. You're gonna lose money a lot. Oh, might win.
Hey, I got a story for you, JJ.
Yeah, what's that?
I don't want to get to that one yet. I want to tell you this one.
We're at the end of the day,
so we're
at
the end of the day. So I'm going to tell you this story. Now I'm going to tell you this one story.
Filing some things for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have to file some things for tomorrow, but this is pretty cool. I came across yesterday. China, has got super bases on the moon, and they're breeding worms and aliens and all kinds of stuff up there on the moon. They're teamed up with the aliens, and they're rolling around and doing shit. Seriously, China's been doing some really cool stuff on the moon. Whether you hate them or love them, they are a very determined people. And they have found these little glass balls, these little glass spheres on the moon in the soil, and they contain water. And they think they've discovered billions of tons of water in these strange glass spheres buried on the moon. They could be used as a future water source for moon bases. So this was a kind of a very interesting little discovery.
You just have to break a bunch of glass?
Well, I'm sure it's probably not just that, but the glass spherules, also known as impact glasses or micro microtectites, form when meteorites smash into the moon at tens of hundreds of thousands of miles per hour, blasting chunks of lunar crust above the moon's surface. Inside these plumes, silicate materials heated to molten temperatures by the force of the impact combine to form tiny glass beads that are sprinkled like crumbs over the surrounding landscape. The moon's soil contains oxygen, which means that the beads do too. Then struck with the ionized hydrogen atoms, protons from solar wind, the oxygen in the spheres reacts to form water that's sucked inside the silicate capsules. Over time, some of the spheres become buried underneath the lunar dust particles known as regolith and are trapped underground with the water still inside. Very cool. Isn't that cool?
Yes. The Chinese can have, I don't know. I don't want to say they can have the moon. I don't want to say that.
No.
That's obviously American property. Our flag's up there.
Yeah, our flag's up there. So it's our property.
It's American property.
They need to be paying taxes. Where the fuck is Chinese moon tax?
At the very least, we need to retain the mineral rights to these glass
balls of glass.
All right, here's my last story. Which this is a name you may remember from when we did the Pod 616 podcast bits. We were doing like Marvel history for a minute, just couldn't work it out.
Right.
After 30 years, honestly, didn't even know he was still there. After 30 years of Secret Wars, Disney lays off Marvel chairman Ike Perlmutter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ike?
So,
don't like Ike?
I don't know. I mean, like, he was always more of like just like a business guy. He was like not interested. I mean, I don't know what he was personally interested in terms of like social agenda, but like he was trying to make dollars. That's what he was trying to do. So, as you know, Deacon, I know you're super concerned about Disney laying off 7,000 additional employees as part of the. Yeah, right. I mean, it kept me up. I almost had. That might have been like it could have been indigestion, or it could have been just like the just internal tension of just me being so worried about Disney having 7,000 people additional laid off. I'm not sure what it was, but I know my wife's gonna have to order some more toilet paper. As part of Disney's massive layoff initiative, the company has fired the reclusive head of Marvel Entertainment, the comic book product and licensing wing of the company, which is not the movie studio side. It's the IP comic book side of the company. According to the New York Times, Disney made Perlmutter redundant after the conglomerate folded his Marvel Entertainment into the larger Disney fold. Perlmutter will be remembered as both someone who changed Marvel forever and ultimately a huge liability for increasingly criticized studio. He understood numerous controversy. He withstood numerous controversies during his tenure, including telling employees that he had a bullet with her name on it and secretly advising Trump's veteran affairs from Mar-a-Lago. He's responsible for one of the most lucrative sales in Hollywood history. So Ike Perlmutter, out the door. Oh, well. What a shame.
Yeah, don't know who that is.
It was, you could consider it Disney chewing up one of the last gizzards of the comic book industry and just turning it into a farm for movies and TV. Great TV shows like Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Hawkeye. Right. Okay.
So send in your get to our Discord server if you're not there. We see people joining all the time. We appreciate it. Discord, our little forum chat server. Download it on the Google Play Store and just or just do the little wherever JJ's got the link.
Check the description
and send us your best dad jokes because we're running light. I need some dad jokes. I'm gonna have to look some.
Are you running out?
So I've really got kind of a dad riddle for you today, JJ.
Okay.
What
a riddle?
What grows down as it grows up? What grows down as it grows up?
Grows
it's not so
down.
much a joke, but a riddle.
What grows down as it goes. I mean, my first thought is a tree, but then I'm also thinking maybe like my sense of self-esteem.
A goose. A goose.
That's good. Thank you.
Isn't that a good one? I like that one.
Let me write that down. Let me make sure my kids hear that.
Yeah, what goes down as it grows
up. I can't find a pen or anything. Okay.
That's a good one. That's pretty funny.
Did you hear about the factory burned down? I know we had a lot of burnings last month. There was derailments and there were factory burnings. There was like steel plants and all this stuff. There was a bread factory that burned. Did you hear about it?
No.
Yeah, the business is toast.
Oh man, that's terrible. Oh.
Yeah.
What was the
All right.
Was that the toast being ready?
That's my wife.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the show. Cindy, can you please get your trash off of my desk, Cindy? If you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe. Would you mind sharing this thing on the social medias or whatever? I don't know. Just at least comment on the video.
Like Cindy's Instagram account so she'll quit freaking asking me to like it. I don't care about her freaking what she ate for dinner.
So annoying. I can't stand this woman. But she hasn't done anything that exactly warrants a termination. So, in fact, I better probably be careful talking about it on the air.
All right, I gotta go.
All right. Bye, everybody.